Jai Sri Ram, friends. Welcome to Bharat Marg. Welcome to Iyengar Garu from Andhra. You know, appreciate you joining us. And Iyengar Garu is a social activist. Incredible work he is doing. I am going to cover one of the village he has adopted and doing a incredible job, which I am very, very excited about. And I want to cover also. You had to know about him. And he is a RTA activist who is making sure our temples are safe and protected in a very, very legal way. And we should be very thankful for people like this. And thank you, Engar Garu, for joining us. And welcome to Bharat Marg. And friends, before going further, friends, please make sure to like the video. So comment if you have any question, and share it with as many people as you can, and subscribe the channel Bharat Marg. Also, if you are here for the first time, friends, please make sure to press the notification button to make sure you get the update as we go live, so that you can join us, comment, and become the part of the conversation. Okay, let me go to Sri Iyengar Garu. Iyengar Garu, thank you for what you are doing. Okay, I'm very, very humbled
Thank you,
that
sir.
you are
Thank
here in the show. Thank you. And you want to have a cup of water? Can we get started? Okay, we are
you.
live right now. Okay, if you want to grab a cup of water, you can get it too. Okay, but let
Yes,
us
sir.
get started. Okay, we are going to
Fine.
discuss about Tirupati temple. Friends,
Yes.
Tirupati temple is considered as Buloga Vaikuntham. Okay, and the amount of atrocity it goes through is unbelievable. Okay, and one of the things what we are going to discuss right now is about the jumbo board. Okay, the board of director, almost like 52 people are there in the board, which is like twice or whatever the number. Iyengar Garu will be able to give you much better as he is working on this thing uh, than before, and what it means, what kind of funding is happening, what percentage of Hundi money going to maintain their family, and who are these people. We'll go more in detail. Okay, and also I have some questions quickly to run through by Iyengar Garu. How can the Hindu temples can be break the chain of slavery? Okay, I am sure you are also interested in it. And uh, you know the, just listen to what he is saying. Tirupati temple Hundi is a treasury of government, or what? It is our question. And this is a must-watch video, friends. Okay, and also share. And thank you for Iyengar Garu for being with us here. Okay, Iyengar Garu, welcome to the show. And please say us, what the jumbo board means to an average devotee. Okay, how, why all of a sudden the board was almost doubled. Okay, almost doubled. If you know
Yes,
better,
yes.
yeah, please go ahead.
So, Mr. Dilipan, thank you very much for the opportunity given it to me and the devotees, especially in connection with this jumbo board, in connection with the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam.
Mm-hmm.
We have to just think about the past days of trusteeship, especially in a temple system. Up to 17th century or 18th century, and nobody was that much interested to come forward to take over the charge of any trusteeship,
Mm-hmm.
because they feel that earlier they feel that if anything happens in the temple, if any person does any sin in the temple,
Mm-hmm.
or whether directly or indirectly, it comes to it covers to the trustee in such a way. That's way having that sin immediately covers on concerned trustee.
Mm-hmm.
So the trustee feels that he may be very fair, he may be very honest, but whereas in a temple system, if whatever whomever the person employed in the temple system, whether maybe archagas or other employees, maybe whomever they do any misappropriation or maladministration, the
Mm-hmm.
trustee will be the indirectly responsible, and the entire sin covers on him.
Right.
So that's the reason earlier nobody was coming forward to take the responsibility of trusteeship up to almost
Right.
18th century, you can say. But whereas in Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam concern, up to 1952, the Mahants were the custodians. They were ruling the temple as custodians. Maybe now and then there may be some sort of maladministrations, or misappropriations. Even during the time of Britishers' time also, they were appointing some inquiry officers, and the person who is responsible for the maladministration was taken in action, and then the trusteeship and the entire custodianship was handed over to the concern. They were never taking, nobody was taking the custodianship in the place of real trustees.
Mhm.
Even Britishers were also not taken the responsibility. What
Mhm.
happens? In 1952, unilaterally, the government has given a notification and taken over the Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, and from then it started functioning as a self-styled custodian. And nobody was questioning during those days. Nobody was questioning, and it was
Mhm.
being continued. What
Mhm.
happens earlier? Only few, 5 or 6 or 11 or maximum at the most 11 to 12 trustees were appointed by the government, whomever, whatever the government was ruling. They were
Right.
appointing their own interested people. But you can see up to for the past 40, 50 years, it is being happened in different stages. Whatever the government they rule, they appoint
Mhm.
their own, as per the whims and fancies, they appoint their own people. And to be frank, the trust boards have become, not only in Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam and all major temples, the trust boards have become
They're
a
the rich temples.
political unemployed replacements.
Yeah, rich
So
temples, small rich
whomever they
temples.
like, they appoint. Whether he is a devotee or not, they're not bothered. Even in several cases, in several temples, we can find even culprits in people. Those are in many crimes. They're also appointed as. They were also appointed as trustees in concerned temples. And nothing. They are not at all. They were related with the temples. Even see in some temples, even they never come to the concerned temple, they have been appointed as a trustee. In such a way, the ruling parties, because as we discussed earlier, actually the government is nowhere concerned with the temple system. If government interferes in temple system, it is nothing but it is against to the constitution and articles 25 and 26. And interfering with the religious activities, it is against to the constitution. And basing on that, in 2014, the Supreme Court has given a wonderful verdict. The Supreme Court has given a wonderful verdict that we will just read it for the benefit of our devotees. And basing on that verdict, when the executive officer is the post of appointed as executive officer for the temple, must be in a limited time, he must be appointed.
Right.
And likewise, appointed by the government, the trust boards or trustees, the role of the concerned trust boards must be clearly mentioned. And one more thing here, we have to think about whether the government has empowered to constitute trust boards or executive officers directly or indirectly. Directly or indirectly, I'm telling you, to the temple system.
Uh,
Here, there is a law maxim is there. Very important point I would like to focus here. A law maxim is there,
mhm.
especially in Bihar government case, DC Wadhwa, Dr. DC Wadhwa versus Bihar government case. The Supreme Court clearly stated that the things clearly which is not being done directly, which never be done, which never be done indirectly.
Mhm.
Suppose if these things cannot be directly done, those things cannot be done even indirectly. But whereas here, as per this maxim, the government, since it is unconstitutional, it is against the norms of court verdicts, the governments are indirectly functioning the temple system.
One
So
question, Iyengar garu. Just one question for you, if I can pitch in. Okay, how much money is paid to these trustees? You know, each one. Let us assume they get their own car. They get to sell the
yes,
VIP VVIP tickets. Okay, they sign the
yes,
thing. They don't sign it for free, right? You had to treat them to get it signed.
yes,
And
yes, yes,
so how much as a package?
Yes,
The
I am
Hundi
coming to
money,
that point.
yeah, Hundi money. I will love to know that Hundi money goes because his wife, from the getting the vegetable onwards, his PA getting the fuel onwards, everything goes from Hundi money. Please
Yes, I am coming
enlighten
to.
us on that. Yes,
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 Mr.
please.
Dilepan, I am coming to that point.
Yes, please.
Especially earlier up to the 17th century, even up to 1925 or something like that, till such time, the trustees were never anticipating a single rupee from temple amounts. Actually, what is the purpose? These are all political unemployed people. They are all appointed as trustees for their political rehabilitation. Unemployed rehabilitation, it has become a rehabilitation center for the political unemployed. So what happens? These people, they never do anything. They don't know what is the temple. The people, those who have been appointed, not only in Tirupati, I'm telling you, in general, in all the major temples, the poor people, those who have been appointed by the government as trustees, they're not at all bothered and they never know about the temple system. They don't know the systems of rituals. They don't know minimum knowledge of agamas. They don't know the minimum administration
Most of them
details.
are not even Hindus.
Most of, maybe that is that is also a different question that it takes minimum 1 day to discuss about it. Minimum 1 day to discuss about it. So why they have been appointed, what is the fun they are doing, what the hell they are doing for 2 years or 3 years. The time period is given for 2 or 3 years. They are simply happily enjoying. They are showing their power. They are showing their colorful exercise of power, political power on archagas, Nagama Pandits, and temple people, especially even on devotees. What the hell happening? What we see, for example, of course, now a devotee went out to the court of law, and the stay order is given on, especially on this jumbo jet trustee appointment system. That is, of course, recently that is being stayed by the High Court of Law. Now, it's in pending. Of course, we let us not much discuss about in detail about that. But whereas in general, if we discuss, many of the trustees, they are absolutely not related to the temple system. Not only in Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam, majority of the temples. And you can surprise some of the people, those who have been appointed, are also they are in criminal. They are also involved in criminal charges. They are also being appointed. And hardly 1 or 2 or 3, more maximum, the most 3 or 4 people are can be treated as a people, those who are having good relations with the temple and knowing much knowledge about the temple system. But whereas majority, 80% of the people, absolutely they don't know anything about the temple system. They are being appointed. Happily they are enjoying all the benefits. Happily they are enjoying the benefits,
Like what
especially in
benefits?
connection with the
Like what benefits?
Tirupati. For example, as you said rightly, in connection with the Tirupati, absolutely there are around 35 people, around 20 or 25 people in general. 30 people are already now are in trust board. Another 35 persons are being appointed as the special invitees. And besides that, in every state, around 25 to 30 persons are as local advisory committees. You see, when every state, except in Tirupati, local advisory committees are there for this. And affiliated, they have all facilities. So they may be having that not that much of facilities, but they have the all recommendation letters and all. They send it, and
So what
especially in
happens
trust board
if
members
somebody
and all,
has
they have all recommendations set. They have all facilities. That's a system.
if
Each and every trustee, whenever he goes to the temple, each and every trustee, whenever he goes to the temple, he will take be along with around 50 or 60 people to the temple. It becomes a hurdle to the common devotees. So,
no,
you see, as you said
do they
rightly,
get any
absolutely for
money?
every paisa is being charged and maintained by the temple. So, what is the
Do they
fun
get
of having?
money?
Absolutely. You see, for example, in trust board discussions also, absolutely, 90% of the discussions, happily, they never question it. Unilaterally, everything is passed because everybody is appointed by the government. Everybody absolutely happily. See, for example, the price is increased. Happily, everybody just give a claps. Nobody questions this. What is the fun? Why are we increasing the price? It becomes it affects the deportees. Nobody questions. Nobody gives any dissent. So happily, everybody enjoys the temple system. And as you said rightly, 80% of in every temple, not only this Tirumala Tirupati, 80% of the budget is being spent only to the employees of the temple.
So the
And
people who
remaining 20%
okay,
is also not being spent to the government temples.
okay,
But
listen.
again, whatever the proposal they especially for the development of temple. Again, the devotees have to come forward and give for donations.
Yeah.
That is a fact.
One second. Okay. Now, okay, let me zoom into the Tirupati temple. Okay, if I may. My question is, now Tirupati kind of temple. Okay, I'm going to be very specific. Okay, this is it is run by the Andhra government, for which the chief minister is in charge. Okay, and chief minister's uncle, own maternal uncle, is the chairman of the temple. Okay, he is a converted Christian, and his uncle is the person who is running the temple. So it becomes like a family property, isn't it?
But
For
in
them.
general, what I can say here, as you said about the government or relatives, those who are ruling the system, that is you see, for example, let us know, if you see a person, specific person, in every government, it is common thing. It is common. They only appoint their own people, maybe relatives, they may be other people, they may be. See, as you said, whether he is a Christian or Muslim, whomever he may be, he is a secular person. What I can say, when he's a secular person, whatever the religion he has, it is immaterial to me. My contest is the person who is ruling the temple as a custodian is a self-styled custodian. He may be executive officer, he may be a trustee, he may be a chairman, whomever he may be, is a secular appointed by the government indirectly. He is not supposed to rule my religious temple. That is my contest. For example, here I will quote two very important
One
things.
second, okay. 1 second, Iyengar Garu. Atul Sharma ji is asking why, when all the temples around India are free for the people to enter, most of them, especially in North India, you don't find this concept at all. I go to Kashi many times. I just go walk in, no problem. Ayodhya, you just walk in, no problem. If there is a line, you go. I remember going into Tulja Bhavani temple in Maharashtra, and I asked them, "Do you have any special queue?" They said, you are a South Indian looking, you come here, and we are not Tirupati temple. You better stand in the line and come inside, kind of thing. Okay, why only that the Tirupati temple not free from government control? No, many temples are in government control. This is a question from
ఇప్పుడు
Atul Sharma.
in North India, of course, that is not being implemented. Especially in South India, the governments are from the beginning, past 60 years, the governments are ruling the temple system, and they are very much interested in temples money. They may say so many things. Nowadays, it is very difficult for them to even leave the temple system, because why they are acquainted with the temple system means here there is a lot of money is generated. A lot of money is generated. The government systems, whatever the party they rule, they are very much interested in that money. If suppose if the money is not there, see, for example, there are a lot of temples in the grassroots level of villages, absolutely they having no money for Dopadipa Naivedyams, for which the departments or government, they never bother to come and take over. If suppose if the temple is having 10 or 15 acres of land, they may be having not much of income, they immediately come and take over the temple, because they always see about money. See, for example, in especially in southern states, this problem is very much existing for the past, not now, for the past 60 years it is being happened. Especially in Tirupati, if you see, up to 52 it was ruled by the Mahants. In 52 the government has taken over from the Mahants without of course there may be some misappropriation, maladministration. After finish of the maladministration, is supposed to hand over to the Mahants, but they're not. See, the government has not handed over it. See, that's what clearly the Supreme Court clearly stated. Just I would like to read the very important two judgments here. This clearly shows the role of executive officer and the role of trustee also. These two judgments are wonderful judgments. I will just read it. Especially in 2014, Supreme Court clearly stated, especially in Dr. Subramania Swamy versus in Tamil Nadu government, in connection with the Chidambaram Devasthanam issue, the Supreme Court has given a clear verdict. Just I am reading it. Even if the management of a temple is taken over to remedy the evil, the management must be handed over to the person concerned immediately after the evil stands remedied. The problem, once a maladministration or misappropriation found, they can appoint an executive officer for a limited period. After finish of that period, after settle that problem, immediately the executive officer has to come out. But he is not coming out. He has completely occupied the system. And in continuation, clearly stated, Supreme Court clearly stated, in continuation, thereafter, tantamount to the usurpation of the property and rights and violation and fundamental rights guaranteed by the Constitution. It is against the Constitution they are doing it in favor of the persons deprived. This is, and at the same time, the reason is that the objective to take over the management administration is not to remove or replacement of the existing administration, but to rectify and stamp out the consequences of the maladministration. The main reason is if the executive officer goes there, the maladministration or misappropriation, if anything happens, then only if there is any complaint, he is supposed to be appointed for a limited period after finish of the after finishing of that operation, and concern immediately he has to come out from the concerned place only for limited period when executive officer is permitted. And in such a case, why besides the executive officer, why the trust board again is appointed by the government? It is also illegal. It is also illegal. One more point I would like to tell you. Power to regulate does not mean that the power to supersede the administration for an indefinite period. And the order of appointment of executive officer does not disclose as per what reasons and under what circumstances appointment was necessitated. The period of his operation is not prescribed, hence the executive officer, it is set aside. That is clearly given in Chidambaram Devasthana judgment. And one more judgment, this is Supreme Court judgment. This clearly shows that when executive officer having absolutely no role to absolutely no role to rule the administration, what is the fun of appointing by the government, by all these trust boards, even jumbo jets or special invites, all these misappropriation. This is nothing but misappropriation.
I have one quick question. Iyengar Garu, I have one quick question. You know, TTD Devasthanam was behind my video. They wanted to come behind me legally for when I opposed the ticket system. Tirupati Devasthanam, okay, was announcing that they will sue Bharat Marg because we did a video called No Money, No Darshan in Tirupati, okay, during the COVID time. Okay, and that time they gave me an explanation. You have no idea. We support so many temple which doesn't have income in Andhra. Is that true or they were lying?
I did not get actually what exactly what you are asking.
The Tirupati management was saying me, TTD Devasthanam was saying me that with the Hundi money what we get and the ticket money what we get, okay, we are supporting so many temples in Andhra which doesn't have income. Were they saying the truth or they were lying?
Yeah, that's what I am telling the person. When he is not empowered to even sit in our premises, he says so many things we are hearing just like a mad fellows. Who is he to sit here and who is he to save our temples? Absolutely unconstitutionally, the executive system is sitting on our head, and even trust boards appointed by the system. Whatever the resolutions they pass, they're all unconstitutional. Whatever the resolutions they pass, see for whose money, who is giving to whom? They are giving my Hundi money. They are saying that as if it is their own property is given to some other temples. It is not that. Who are you to give? Absolutely, you are not empowered to sit in not even a single minute basing on this judgment. First of all, you have to quit out this place.
Absolutely. And Atul Sharma ji asks one more question. How to free the temple and give the management to Hindu seers? Okay. Is there any solution for the atrocity we are going through?
Yes, that's correct. Actually, after 2014, the Supreme Court has given a wonderful judgment, especially in the Chidambaram judgment. Of course, there is no, from any end, there is no any appeals. But again, Mr. Subramania Swamy and some other devotional organizations went over there and approached the Supreme Court because of this COVID and other things. The court's schedules for Supreme Court schedules were not fulfilled. That's why we're all awaiting for the good news from the Supreme Court again. It's also in pending. Of course, 95% of this case, basing on this case, 95% we have already won. In the system, the executive officers or the trust board or whomever appointed by the government, they should be only in a limited time. They should hear when there is a problem. Otherwise, they have to go away. As by basing on this. And now, as you said rightly, when our people take over the charges, means now the case, this is also in Supreme Court now. almost basing on this earlier 2014 judgment also, we are expecting a judgment from Supreme Court asking the concerned executive officer system to quit off from the religious place. That because what happens in 2014, it is given a ruling. It is given a Supreme Court has given a ruling whether the executive officer system is legal or illegal. If it is legal, how it is legal? Only for the period of only temporary period, when there is a problem, only if any complaint, they are supposed to go there and solve the problem to get off. And further, if we continues it to replace the original administration, it is crime. It is clearly stated that almost 95% we have already won. Only 5%. Once if the court, Supreme Court verdicts, if we get it in favor, definitely will take over the charge.
And one more question for you. What should be the best management model for Hindu temples and shrines in the coming days? If the government quits, okay, let us assume they are forced to quit. Now, what will be the ideal model? Do we have any
Yeah, you are right.
replacement?
You are right. This is also being questioned by, because several people, they thought that even the Britishers' time also, our people thought that, if Britishers go away, can we rule our country in such a way? The people were thinking, and some of the great leaders also were supporting the British government to continue. See, like
Right.
that, it may not be a correct comparison, maybe a right, not proper
No, it is a
comparison, but
very,
whereas
very
here
right
also,
comparison.
here
Perfect.
also the system occupied in such a way. The system occupied our religious institutions in such a way. As you rightly questioned me once, if this a giant system left this place, who is going to rule our temple system? This is the right question. Of course, elaboratedly it has to be discussed, but in brief we can say, see, every temple is having its own agama systems. Every temple is having its own systems of traditions and customs and ritual systems and traditions. See, for example, in a Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam concern, especially the system, the agama is Vaikhanasa agama, and the Sthanachara system is Pancharatra Jir system. There they will rule. They will rule. And as far as Pancharatra agama concern, all Jir systems already they are Sthanacharjas. Pada Jir Swamiji and Chinna Jir Swamiji are there. And earlier Mahanta system was there. They were the real trustees of Tirumal Tirupati Devasthanam. They were sent off, and the original trustees were sent off. They have become the tenants. Now the person who is not at all eligible for the ruling, he has become the owner. In such a way, this is the fate where our Hindu religious system is facing. In such a conditions, Vedajiyar system, Chinnajiyar system, Mahan system, and Agama Pandits, our Agama system is there. And besides that, we have our Vanamamalai, very big GR system is there. They can also come forward and they will also rule it. And as per the Agama systems, for example, Sri Salem or Sri Kalahasti, or Sevet, many Sevet temples are there, very big Sevet temples. All the Sevet temples, they have their own systems. Smartha system, Seva system, Pasupata Seva system, Veera Seva system, Adi Seva system. Like that, every system will have their own Pitadipatis. So if it is not today or tomorrow, the government must step down and hand over all the temples to the concerned Agama, heads of the Agamas of concerned temples, and they have to quit off this place immediately.
Okay. One more question for you. Secular anti-Hindu, this is from Girinathanji. Secular anti-Hindu government, you can read here. Okay. Secular anti-Hindu government can maintain Hindu temple. Crores of Hindu devotees Hundi money is used for religions of the people. Meanwhile, mosque and church money is not governed by the government. Why?
That's what in the question itself answer is there. Secular Hindu, there will not be any secular Hindu. Secular means secular. That's all ante. See, when there is a money is floating like anything, there only people come. There only they. You see, once see in earlier in Mahan system there was no Hundi system. Only was having a big see, one system is there. He was whoever the devotees, they come and they give some coins and all, some sort of gold ornaments, whatever it may be. They were given. Hundi system was not incorporated in those days. Then what happens after 1952? The Hundi system has come in every each and Hundi system itself is as per the Agama, it is against. As per Hundi system itself is as in Agama systems or in temple system, absolutely no Purana Idihasas. There is no question of this Hundi system. There is no question of this ticket system. by purchasing to go to our temple by purchasing all these things. What is see person who is the person who is having the who is being appointed as the trust board or special invitee or local committee advisors or chairmen, whoever the responsibility are appointed by the government. Happily, they are going along with the hundreds of people. Absolutely, the people's representatives also. Absolutely, not only, of course, the protocol is meant for people's representative. What happens along with the people representatives, more than 50, 100 people, they are taking over to the temple and going for this. What happens in common devotees? They're all facing the problem. Hours together, standing in the queue. This is quite illegal. This should be questioned. All
Okay.
people, those are in the queue lines, also they can protest. They can also protest.
Sure.
See what happens recently, last year. I'm telling you, last year, what happens? The devotees, when it is delayed, hours together, it is delayed. Even the small kids, they were suffering without milk or without any food. All the devotees, they protested. They protested like anything. And one more most unfortunate thing is, wherever the voice increases, wherever the voice rises, wherever the protest rises, in questioning the concerned ruling administration, immediately they are using the police force. It is also illegal. It is also illegal. If anything happens, who is going to give a complaint? The Archakas or the Agama concerns or the GRs or Pada GRs or Chana GRs, they are supposed to give a complaint. What happens? The entire system has become a slavery. The entire system has become an employee system. And the person who is not at all absolutely having any right to sit on our temple, he has sat on our head, and years together, centuries, years together, he is sitting on our head and ruling our temple and squeezing the money and using for public purpose. They say that it is public purpose, it is quite illegal. They are not supposed to send. Even some of the high court judgments are there. Whatever the amount people, the Hindu donates, that should be spent for only Hindus. That should be spent for only Hindu services. That is clearly given. Several high courts have given judgments, but they are not bothered. They are asking, let the Supreme Court once again give a slap for us and ask us to get out. Then only for such time we will sit like this, and they are doing like that.
Absolutely. I agree with you. One last question, and we will be done in a minute time. If you can take your last minute and answer this. Now, many of the welfare systems in the states are funded by the Hindu Hundi money. Now, all of a sudden, if the money stops going to the government, how they will survive?
See, for example, you see, for all the questions, see, people, they like different ways. You see, who asked the government to depend on temples illegally or unconstitutionally? Once they tasted this money, in general, they are not in a position to leave this system. So, once, as you said rightly, suppose if the money is not, it is the head of welfare systems and all, they are not supposed to depend directly or indirectly as per the legal maxims and legal verdicts. They are not only directly, even but also indirectly, they are supposed to depend on temple system and religious systems. They should not eat the temple's money. Even they should not donate. Government, they should not donate it to the temples. That is also wrong. If any government chief minister or other ministers say that we have spent this much of money for the temple construction, it is also illegal. You are not supposed to spend a single rupee for any religion. And some of the government, they say that we have given much of money for priests, and much have given it to the pastors or Mahujans or Mutawallis, something like that. Of course, in religious system, actually, religious system is quite different. The governments, in welfare measures, they should have a different corporations, and all through that corporations there, so they can give it to the temple concerned religions. No problem. But whereas by taking the amount from temple system, that is a welfare is the responsibility of the government, not of the temples. But taking the temples into their hands and using the temple's money and wants to do for welfare system to the country, it is illegal. And absolutely, they are not supposed to take money from the temple, and they are not supposed to even give money to the temple also. That's what by the conclusion. And last but not the least, in connection with the trust board, if once the trust board or concerned trustee or chairman, if he crosses his limits, and interfere in religious aspects, the high courts also have given a slap. The high court, especially in TTT Ananta Swarnamayam case, kindly remember TTT Ananta Swarnamayam case. During that time, the trust board has passed a resolution to cover the entire sanctum sanctorum with gold plating. So then we fought for it, protested for it, and because of their activity, the entire almost 800 inscription will be spoiled and disturbed. In such a, but even then they have not had it, and they wanted to as if they like it. Means during that time, and we also, along with other devotees, we fought for it and filed a petition in court of law, and AP High Court clearly given a verdict. That also I will just read in 1 minute. The sanctum sanctorum would amount to interdicting with the religious aspects of the institution, and it cannot be form and part of any secular activity, and as such the same being without any jurisdiction is violation of articles 25 and 26 of the Constitution of India. And the TDT resolution dated 2008 September 20 was set aside, because the resolution was passed by the trust board. It said it is unconstitutional, it is not religious, it is secular, it was set aside.
Absolutely.
Means if the trust board, if also if they want to do, they can only rule there as per the schedules in a limited period as EO is scheduled. They can do, but they cannot cross their limits. They are not supposed to interfere with the religious systems. They are not supposed to enter with the POTU. They are not supposed to touch the even temple religious systems and constitutions of temple agamas or archagas, and even they should give topmost respect to the agama pandits, archagas and pradhana archagas, and also the pedajiyar and chinajiyar system. That's what the final words I would like to say.
Thank you very much for your wonderful work, what you are doing. Appreciate it. Friends, you know what? We are requesting Iyengar Garu for coming to our next week show also. But I just want to say we all have to be thankful to Iyengar Garu for the amount of work what he is doing, and people like him. Like he referred Subramania Swami in many cases and all those things. Many people are putting their life online and working, and because of which our Sanatan Dharma is flourishing. No question about it. Thank you very much for what you are doing. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Govinda.
Thank you, Krishna.
Jai Jai Govinda.
Thank you.